All right, it's Friday and we're back in person. I'm
We
glad you're
are.
here.
Yep. Good morning, everybody.
You did your jury duty really fast.
I did.
Um, so I don't know who else has jury duty. I have it for January or December, January.
Yep.
You have it for December, January.
Yep.
Tom has it for December, January. Anybody else? Anybody have? I called in mine. Was it Tuesday night? And they said I didn't. Mine was canceled. Yeah, canceled.
Right. Last week, mine was postponed till next week, but then I had one yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I potentially now have two next week.
Oh. Hmm.
So we'll
Well,
see.
I have to call in for the 11th and then call in for the 18th.
Okay.
So we'll see. But I call in for the 11th and I had requested and they granted that I'm excused for the 14th and 15th. So I don't know how that would work unless it's fast like yours was. And then the 18th is the week before Christmas.
I know.
So if it's a long
Yeah.
jury, I guess they would. I don't know what they do.
I'm guessing that there will be a continuance or
maybe
a long recess.
Who knows? Jury duty, small town, yeah, fun stuff. Well, actually, that's New Mexico where you serve for. It used to be 3 months, I think.
I that seems.
Yeah, where you were on
Yeah,
for 3 months. Federal, I think, was 2. But anyhow, so glad that y'all's case was over quickly
Yes.
because you had to go yesterday.
I
Started
did.
like it after 1 or something like that. And
Yeah.
so glad you're here.
Yeah, they took all morning to choose the jurors.
It took longer to choose the jurors than it did for the trial.
Just about.
I guess they chose wisely then, huh? That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
we'll definitely digress if I go into any details on this one.
So here's what I'm saying. If you want a fast trial, make sure Paul's on there. That's the way that works.
We'll see.
Well, we got Kim on, Tony on, Jenny on. Good to have you guys on. Let me make that big and see what happens. I think I figured out what happened last time because it quit doing that.
That's better.
You want me to show you what I think I did last time, or it did itself? I think that was off. And then when you do that, then it's not there.
Okay.
So I'm giving Paul the rundown here because
may have to do this myself someday.
You might have to. You can bring people on if you want. You can invite them in. So we've got Tony on there twice. Hello, Tony. Hello, Tony. So anyhow, it's Friday. Christmas is just around the corner, and it's coming at us quickly.
Too quick.
Mm-hmm. So 2 weeks from Monday, and today's Friday, so that's like close. Yeah. So
wow.
If you haven't started your Christmas shopping, you may want to. Went down with Hope yesterday to take care of run some errands, and man, there's lots of people down there shopping. I was like, shouldn't you guys be working? Go do stuff. So
you're scaring me out of the stores.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And was talking with one of the cashiers, and I said, yeah, this. Before long, people are going to start going on Amazon saying, "Can I still get it here in time?" And some of the stuff, man, I'm amazed. I can order something on Amazon, some things, and it'll be here the next morning. Like I can order it tonight. I've done that. Ordered it at 6:00 at night, and it was in the mail. I mean, like at the post office the next morning.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
And then other things, you order and it'll be here sometime between December the 16th and January the 1st.
Yeah, more often than not. Even if I do next day mail, it takes 3 days to get here.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Don't know if you guys know this, since we're talking Christmas stuff and we've already digressed a bit. Amazon has their own drivers. Now they don't ship everything through the Amazon drivers, but in fact, if you're looking for a I don't know, temporary or a side job, Amazon Flex is taking drivers. You drive your own vehicle. They give you a little vest, and the distribution centers in Alamogordo. And so you just go deliver stuff.
Wow.
And what's funny, the Amazon Flex drivers, I said, "Do you need a signature?" "No, I'll take a picture of the outside of the building." So they take a picture. I guess that's where I delivered it to. So, anyways, so fun questions. What do you guys have left to do before Christmas? What do you have? What do you still have to do before Christmas?
I don't even want to answer that question. I'm so overwhelmed.
By the look on Paul's face, the answer is everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, because I was sick last week.
Oh, boy,
I'm a week behind, and then ended up with jury duty on top of it. So I lost another day, not only at home stuff, but work stuff too.
Oh,
so I'm starting to feel the squeeze.
Yeah, I've been shopping, and so I'm pretty far along there. I have stocking stuffers that I have to do and stuff like that, but we still
Stocking
haven't.
stuffers. That's not even on my list.
I know we haven't put up our tree yet. We're gonna do that tonight. Yeah,
Tree is up.
Oh, you got your tree up.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's because you don't have cats.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's exactly why.
We had to think. We think we know how we can set up. We got a small tree, and I bought some extreme bitter spray. I'm gonna douse that thing, and then we'll put it up.
Okay.
Decorate it. We'll see if it works. Good morning, Bethany. Everything I eat might taste bitter after I do all that, but hey, if it keeps the cat out of the tree, maybe. We have one. No kidding. We have two kittens, and one of them, I picked the tree up, and I'm carrying the tree out. Dude is riding in the tree, and I had to stop and make him get out before I put the tree outside. Jim, good morning. Hope you're feeling better. Paul's better. I don't hear any coughing or anything. Of course, I haven't made you laugh yet.
No,
So
I am much better.
Good. Yeah, that stuff's going around. Yeah. Y'all can.
I was down for the count.
Yeah. For you, that's big. You're down 3 days, 3 days in bed. You didn't have coffee for 4 days. That's like the end of the world.
That's how sick I was.
Jim's better, he says. So what?
I didn't have Java, but I had Jesus.
Oh, okay. Well, so there was what? I forgot what morning it was. It might have been Wednesday morning. I had to do the same. I drank half a cup of coffee and it made me sick. And I thought, the Lord, just take me home if I can't drink coffee. But so I had a caffeine drink, but it wasn't coffee.
Okay.
With caffeine, I get a big headache. So what do you have left to do for Christmas? You guys tell us what's left to do. Still have some shopping. You have some decorating.
Christmas cards.
Cards. Cynthia's been working on those. Yeah. Do you still have food? You have to buy the food. I was sitting. We were talking with someone. I was with Hope and Hillary, and I thought, I don't even think we've talked about what we're doing for Christmas yet. Like if the family's coming over here. I mean, I don't. Hope's graduation is a week from tomorrow.
That's crazy too.
I know. So a week from tomorrow, and so we, that's kind of the big thing that we're making sure we're ready for. So, what have you left to do? No one's answering, so they've got everything all done.
They're all overwhelmed.
Yeah, or yeah, they have the same look that you had. Well, so while you can still chime in with that, but we want to get on with what we're talking about.
What are we talking?
11 minutes in.
No.
I'll figure out the menu. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, what are we gonna eat?
Yep, got to do that too.
Yeah. We had steak. We usually have steak for Christmas. I don't know if we'll do that again, but we had steak for Thanksgiving, and then dressing and green bean casserole. Everything you would normally have with turkey, but we just had steak instead of turkey. Yeah, Jim. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Monday.
That's what you're saying.
2 weeks from Monday. So we're talking about reimagine, and so if we're going to reach everything, yeah. See that's him. Everything. Paul's got to sit down first of all and figure out what he's got left to do. what he has to do, what he can do.
I know what I have to do. I need to prioritize. We've talked about that a little bit
a few
before.
times. So to reimagine in order things. Here's the premise. In Cloudcroft, and I think this is probably the same in most places, but Cloudcroft particularly over the last 3 years, Cloudcroft has totally changed. It's really a completely different place than it was. The schools have changed. If you're work for the school district, I'm not saying for the good or bad, but the schools have changed. It's not the same Cloudcroft schools as 2019, 2018. Our town has changed. The demographics have changed. We have more people here over the last few years. New people have moved in. Case in point, even the way that we did the normal fall festival stuff,
that changed.
Completely different. The way that we're doing stuff for Christmas, completely different. The way the village is. In fact, somebody, I need to find out who. Somebody, I don't know if it was the chamber or our village, declared us the Christmas capital of New Mexico.
I heard that rumor too.
And now they're doing everything they can to prove it. So tons of stuff happening, change. It has a whole different feel. It doesn't have a small town feel. Supposedly, I don't know if this will happen or not, but supposedly the new Allsups was supposed to be done by the end of December. They were supposed to do it, I think, at the beginning, but they
they're making progress, but still doesn't look quite ready for prime time.
I'm interested because they've like got this construction thing down. I'm interested to see how they're going to do their parking lot when it's like supposed to get down to 10 degrees in the morning, or tomorrow or Sunday morning be 10 degrees.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, enjoy the warm day today because the high tomorrow is 30, I think. So just everything has changed, and here's what we would normally do. Usually, or in the past, the hope in churches would be that we would keep up, that we would see the changes, and that we'd make whatever adaptations, whatever adjustments that we need to make in order to keep up. And most churches don't even do that well.
Right.
I think because the change has been so rapid over the last 3 years, that what we're going to need to do is to reimagine church in this new world. And this new world, I'm talking about Cloudcroft. To reimagine church. So here's what I want to do over the next year in 2024. I want us to say, if we were going to start from scratch in Cloudcroft, if we're going to start a church from scratch, what would it look like? That's a tall order, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if we were going to start a church from scratch in Cloudcroft, what would it look like? And so the 3 big questions that we have to ask is, because if we were going to do this, if we were going to find a town or a community and plant a church is the terminology, 3 things we would have to find out about that community. And I believe Cloudcroft has changed enough that we need to do that here. 1, who are we trying to reach? Who is in the community? What are the demographics? What generations are living there? What percentage? Is it mainly retired folk? Is it mainly a resort town? So it gets small in the winter and then grows in the summer population wise. Is it mainly families with kids? Is it people like mine in your situation? Our kids are grown, so people with adult kids. Is it grandparents? Is it grandparents raising kids? What are the demographics? Who is there? So who are you trying to reach? And so that's one question. The other question is, what are they like? So let's say we found out that it is location, yeah. When you plant a new church, that's the 3 rules of real estate.
Yeah.
So if it were, let's say that, I'll make this up. I have no idea if this is true. Hopefully we'll be able to find stuff like this out. Let's say that the biggest percentage of our population is millennials.
Okay.
So basically, people in their 30s. So let's say, I'll make this up. Let's say 70, we found out, this is made up. I don't know if this is true. I doubt it is. But let's say that 75% of the population of Cloudcroft now, or this area, we would spread it out to maybe a 15-mile radius. Let's say that 75% of people in that area, we found out, were millennials. We would need to find out, okay, so we need to know about millennials. We need to know, what are they, how do they process things? What do they think? What's their worldview? We need to know, because we need to know, what are they like?
Yeah. What are their interests?
Yeah. How do they do things?
How do you talk to them?
Yeah, I would say, what kind of parents are they? What's their parenting style?
Yeah.
And then that leads to the third question. The third question is, how do we reach them? So knowing, if we find out what they're like, how then do we reach them? We keep the message. We said that a few times already, but
Right.
But how do we reach them? And so here's what I want you guys to chime in with, to help us, give us some ideas on how do we find out the first two. How do we find out who is in Cloudcroft? So chime in with us. Tell us. Just some ideas. Just throw out ideas. I'm not saying that you have to guess who is in Cloudcroft, but how would we go about finding out who is in Cloudcroft? Come on. This is where you guys give us the answers. Paul just had jury duty. He doesn't know.
I'm looking for evidence.
So how do you find out who is in our community? And I say a 15-mile radius. We have to be careful when you do. I don't want to give away anything, but if we go more than 15 miles, then we're getting down into Alamogordo. That's a whole different demographic.
Yep.
So basically, high rolls out to Pinon. That's kind of our area. I would look at. How would we find out? How do we find out who's living here now? How do you do that? Come on. I know one that is the most likely answer, but I don't think that's valid for a couple of reasons. But it's still, we'd still look at it, but I don't think it'd be valid.
Well, what is it? While they're thinking,
the census.
Yeah.
So the in the past, look at she's right on track with us. Okay. So you guys are good. So the old go-to, used to be, you could look at the census, and we still will, but I don't believe the census is going to be valid this time for two reasons.
Rapid change.
Well, one, the census was taken in 2020. What else happened in 2020?
Pandemic.
How many people do you think did not turn in the census?
More than usual.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't think there was a big enough response to the census in 2020 because of the pandemic that it would give us enough information. The second thing is what you said first. Cloudcroft has changed since 2020 significantly. I mean, that's 3 years, and so it's out of date, and I don't think it was all that valid to start with. But we'll look at it to get an idea. Then Kim said, look around your neighborhood. Okay. The businesses you frequent. And then Jose said, so talk to the businesses. And then Kim says, talk to the real estate agents.
Yeah, I was going to suggest not even necessarily the businesses you frequent, but how about the businesses that are opening up?
Okay.
Yeah, because they're doing their research. They see a market.
Okay. So that's two great avenues: businesses and real estate agents. Real estate agents, and that would be, it's not like an official survey. We don't need anything official. We just need to know. Mm-hmm. So real estate agents, I think, would know, and it would be like Kim says, kind of anecdotally. but talk with different. So who are you seeing who are buying houses here? And then talk with the businesses. Who do you see are your customers these days? Um, and I would probably for both of those, I would suggest that we have um, a set of questions that we would ask them so that we're getting the same information from the same businesses and the real estate agents. Um, those are great. Those are really good. Both of those are going to be in touch, hopefully, with the people that are coming. And what businesses are opening? Well, what's the fastest growing industry in Cloudcroft? Do you suppose?
Dispensaries.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, another great avenue is the schools.
Yep.
Um, and I don't know, but it could be we could get some demographic information. They can't get personal information, but we might be able to get some demographic information from the school, or maybe even they could, if a school is smart in a changing, growing area, they're going to be trying to look ahead too and project. So maybe they have some avenues that we wouldn't even think of. What are some other ways? What are some other ways that we can know who is here, who is in this area? Those are all great. Um, I'm glad y'all are typing them in there because I can go back and look later. So schools, businesses, real estate agents, those are three amazing resources. What else? What are some other ways that we can find out who is in our area? Come on.
Yep.
Tell us.
They're thinking. They're
I
thinking
know.
hard.
I know. I'm hardly thinking. I talked to Pastor Larry. Here's, I know I know what you're saying, Jose, and that actually leads us. This avenue is also a way to do the next thing. We could get out into our community. We could find out. I mean, it we would have to take it with a grain of salt, but we could do some of our own surveys to find out. You could say, hey, we realize Cloudcroft has changed in the last several years. We're trying to get a handle on who is it that lives here. So do you mind giving us just some basic information? Um, you know, and you can do that through mail out surveys. I don't think that'll do the best thing. You can do it through maybe Facebook can do surveys. The new texting service that we're going to be using, actually, and I'll use the men's ministry as a guinea pig for this. You can actually, they have already made up surveys. You can make your own, but then you can text that out and just have people respond. That'd be a little bit harder with the community because we'd have to have their number to do that. But we can get out in the community and just ask, ask people, what. That's kind of weird, especially if you're asking ladies because you're not supposed to ask them this. But maybe we could just hand them a piece of paper. Do you mind just filling out? It's not going to have your name on it. I'll put it in with all the rest. What's your age group? What's your marital status? Do you have children? That kind of thing to kind of get an idea of demographics. How long have you lived here? Are you part-time, full-time? Do you work from home? Do you know what I mean? We can come up with just a few. If you're doing that one-on-one, you don't want more than maybe 10 questions, but you can find out a lot with 10 questions. So get out into the community and ask. And that leads into the second way, or the second thing that we need to know is what are they like? So we can not only do that, all those things, schools, real estate agents, businesses, get out in the community with little surveys, but we can also, house by house. So you could go, if you're going to go to house by house, I would maybe even try to limit it to 5 questions. Hey, we're just trying to figure out who all lives in our area, some things about them. Can I ask you 5 questions? Okay, 6. because I already asked you this one. Can I ask you 5 more questions than this one? And then just ask them those 5 questions. And here's to me what is exciting about doing that. We could divide it. We could do sections, grids. Used to be, Jose, because we kind of tried handing out flyers door to door, and 1 out of 6 houses maybe had somebody who lived there. That's changed.
Yep.
So that's a lot more valid to do these days. But you could also just tell the people in the community, have those 10 questions or whatever, 5 questions, and say, hey, we would like over the next month, we would like everyone in our church to ask 10 people these questions. Now, don't ask the same 10 people, but 10 people. And we could even say, find 10 people that you don't know and ask them. If you want to go to your neighborhood and do that, that's fine. If you do that, you might want to jot down what their house number is. But you can do that. Get out in the community. That excites me because that's actually, so think about this. What if it's a person who has, they used to go to church, but they gotten out, or they've never gone to church, but they're thinking about it,
Well, you have an opportunity to invite them.
Yes. And if I were someone like that, either of those 2 categories, and there's a church that's going around asking questions, I would be like, I like that. Most of the time they just want to tell us stuff, but they're asking what we're interested in. They're asking about us. They're asking, one of the questions might be, I don't know, we'd have to work through these. If you were to go to a church, what would be the thing that would prompt you? What would get you in church? We'd find a better way to ask than that. But what would get you to go to church? What would you be looking for in a church? What kind of, so whatever. Someone asked me, do I have specific ideas? I'm trying to stay away from ideas. I want us to come up with those together on how to get this information. Yeah, make sure you don't look like a Mormon or Jehovah's Witness.
Don't wear a white shirt and tie.
Here's what I think would be best to do. And who knows, depending on the demographics, it may not work with some generations, to say, hi, we're with First Baptist Church, and we want to get to know our community better. And so would you mind answering these 5 questions? And so identify us as with First Baptist Church. So that way that'll take that out of the, and tell them we want to get to know our community better. That's true. Absolutely. That's exactly what we want to do. But imagine some of the conversations you can have. Imagine what that would do. What they want versus what they need. Jim and I talked about this a little bit on Wednesday. What we're going to have to do, but with some of those questions, because we don't want to, 2 things. We don't want it to look like, hey, we'll start whatever ministry you think we need. Yeah. And secondly, we don't want to be pressured to do that. So we're going to have to sift through some of those. We're going to have to interpret some of the information we get. You know what I mean? And find, so we need to phrase the questions well so that we can interpret, are they looking for community? Is that what's behind this answer?
Got to make sure you're collecting the right data.
Yeah. And be able to interpret it.
Yep.
And now you can find out what they need if you know how to interpret it from what they say they want. And so that's what we're going to have to do. Because we can't be all things. Well, Paul says we should be all things to all people, but I don't want to be a buffet church,
Right.
Pick and choose. That might be some of the generations we have in our community, but we can't do that. I mean, if we can do 3 things well, I think we're ahead of the curve. So there's also one that I'm aware of. They probably know what they want, but they don't know what they need. Yeah. And Jim, what Jim said on Wednesday was that's a lot like prayer, isn't it? We pray and ask God for things, and God says, okay, I know what you're asking for. That's what you want. I'm going to give you what you need. So we'll have to do that. There are also, our state convention has some resources, and there are some other groups that keep track of demographics on a real time kind of basis. So we can find out what those are and tap into those to find out the demographics. And then there are tons of studies on, we find out what the generations. So Jim is in the boomer generation. We're in the Gen X. I heard, what did they call it? Anyways, we're in the Gen X generation. Then you've got the Gen Z. Someone said Gen Y.
Gen Y,
but that's millennials.
Millennials, I think.
Yeah. That was kind of weird to me. They're millennials, but find out about those. We need to know. But so find out about them. What are the things that are going on with them? The hardest. Well, we won't know. But Gen Z and Generation Alpha are the two youngest. That's 24 years and down. Those generations. So that's what we're going to have to do. And then after we get all that together, we go to the step that everybody wants to jump to first. So how do we reach them? What do we need to do? What plans can we formulate? What can we do as a church to be able to reach them?
There's going to be a delicate balance in whatever strategy we come up with, because we can definitely say, oh, Gen Z and Gen A, we've done our analysis. We know what they want. We think we know what they need. That's what we're going to do. Well, don't do it at the expense of alienating your current congregation too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so that, and that's the thing, but if we reimagine, we want to reach our community. I believe the church is healthiest when it reflects the community, the demographics of the community. So, for example, if 10% of our community is the builder generation, I think 10% of the church ought to be the builder generation. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that's healthiest when your church reflects your community. Yeah. Some people will come out, if we're in their neighborhood. I don't know you. So I've been here 20 years. Where have you been? I have to be careful when I say stuff like that. But I know we've gone a little bit long. Let me pray for you guys. I'm excited about what 2024 holds. And this Sunday, we're starting our Christmas series. So,
whoa.
Yeah. I know. A little behind second Sunday in December, but we're starting our Christmas series. 3 services in a row, Christmas Eve, that Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Monday morning.
Wow.
So cool.
Christmas is on its way.
Yep. It's beginning to look a lot like, I don't know if it's looking like it, but it's feeling.
I tell you what, church is looking great.
Yes,
did a great job decorating.
Most of it still got to get the lights on the outside. Maybe we can do that for Christmas.
Better do it before the temperature drops down to 10 degrees.
10. Nah, let's wait till it's 10 degrees. Let me pray for you guys as we head out into the weekend. Lord, thank you. Thank you for this time of year, God, that we can focus on and celebrate the birth of Jesus. Lord, help us not to rush past it. Help us to keep the traditions in our family that help us to remember, or maybe start new ones that help us to remember. And God, all along the way, would you give us a heart and eyes for our community? Lord, help us to see those who struggle, especially during this time of year, to reach out to them and to share with them your love, which is demonstrated through Jesus. For it's in his name we pray. Amen. Thanks, guys, for hopping in. Hope to see you Sunday and Monday, Lord willing. I got to call in and see if I have jury duty. If it's not me, it'll probably be Hope and Hillary. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody.
And watch this. I think I have this. I think I have it figured out. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm going to go here I'm going to push that and then that.